Well, we finally know what happened and why Shenyi was benched. So, first off, Shenyi coming in this weekend, Takeover coming in as well. So, TSM continuing to make changes. KI Duo will be not competing in the LCS this weekend if you have missed TSM's recent announcement. But along with that announcement, they also did an interview with Upcomer, which is great, by the way. I think it's really cool that TSM's starting to work more with media. And it was actually basically an interview with Chawi, the head coach, who disclosed, here we go, in this article, according to Chawi, during week 2, Shenyi locked in a champion on stage without communicating with the team or coaches. Oh, I'm realizing I'm not on screen. TSM coaching staff followed up with Shenyi to further discuss the matter, but his attitude was deemed negative and disrespectful. Chawi further disclosed that the team has been working with Shenyi to help him improve as a teammate and get back to the LCS team as soon as possible. The initial plan was for him to return to the LCS within 2 weeks. So, okay. This is hilarious for a number of different reasons. One, it drove me crazy. I want to be clear. I did not know about this. TSM and everybody was pretty tight-lipped on why Shenyi was benched. But it was interesting to me because I knew nothing about Shenyi as a player. And it was hard to imagine a world where he was simply benched because whatever. And so I assumed that things were a little bit more complicated. I don't fault fans for not realizing, like, oh, it must have been punitive or Shenyi must have been a jerk about something or whatever, because TSM in their initial messaging almost made it sound like, yeah, he's just really struggling to adapt to the changes of moving here and working with the team and all that stuff. However, I do fault the fans a little bit for just immediately jumping to this conclusion that, like, oh man, Shenyi's this huge victim and he's just been cast out, and Spica and Tactical and all these people on the team, they just suck in comparison. It was very strange, and I referenced this in the other TSM video I did earlier this week, to see folks just like immediately make so many assumptions about Shenyi based off of a couple streams that they've seen about Champions Queue, and also just immediately turn on the existing roster. So that's really interesting. Now we know a little bit more about how Shenyi is as a player, and why he was benched. I think, look, the ongoing challenge for a lot of these teams is, how do you not throw somebody under the bus? We've seen this with Cloud9. I know fans have made similar assumptions about the Cloud9 stuff, is that LS was just sort of cast out and that Cloud9 are villains, rather than assuming that there might be any kind of nuance to it. And here we're seeing the exact same thing play out with Shenyi. And I think orgs really struggle to figure out how to message this stuff, because do you throw somebody under the bus? Do you start a bunch of drama? Do you build a rift with people? In the case of LS, it's like, are you building a rift with somebody who has a giant platform, rather than just saying, like, hey, we're not going to talk about our drama and kind of take it on the cheek. In this TSM situation, they made the decision to not talk about it. Now, starting the sentence on this post from this tweet from when they announced it: player comfort and adaptation are core values at TSM. With this in mind, we've decided to substitute Ursan and Shenyi for the upcoming LCS Academy games. I guess maybe player comfort picks are not core values. I don't know. It's just very strange of going about it. But teams are clearly trying to figure out how to handle this stuff, and TSM failed in this situation. Do I think that they will do better this weekend? Potentially. I mean, Mark talked about this on Hotline League, where he said, like, when you make changes, like, at a certain point in time, you just have to let the team feel like there's a reset, right? And subbing out, bringing Shenyi back, subbing out KI Duo, and bringing in Takeover, I think, could help do that. But I don't know. We'll have to see. Again, shout out to TSM for doing this. The one thing that is missing from this upcoming article, and I'm kind of surprised they did not ask about, I wish they had, was that allegedly, I did not see the stream, but this was all over the TSM subreddit for a while. Shenyi said on stream that he was going to go back to China for basically 45 days after the end of Academy. So I don't know, to visit family. So I don't know If that is no longer going to happen, one would presume it's not going to happen because that was going to be in a couple weeks. And so if his plan is to leave in a couple weeks, I can't imagine. I assume that those plans got changed, but I just wish that had been addressed by the team in this interview. So anyway, that's where we're at. Now we know why Shenyi got benched. We know what their new lineup is going to be. You can go look at this upcoming article. I'll put a link in the description. And yeah, I guess we'll have more to talk about on Hotline League. Please, everyone, just consider the variables, all right? Because I didn't know, but I was trying to consider the variables in terms of what could have happened before jumping into conclusions. And I know it's frustrating when teams don't give you information, but sometimes things behind the scenes can be a little more nuanced. I think those of us that have some understanding of the team stuff are aware of that. I think it's what I mentioned the other day in the video. Anyway, that's it. Catch you later. Shout out to Alienware. I should have shouted them out at the beginning. Just watch the outro for me. Oh my god, there's just so much space. I have so much space now. It's not like when I'm sitting in my chair in my office trying to interview people. I can just move all over the place. People can walk in and out. It's just so nice to be back. And if you would like a bunch of space, maybe you should look at the new 34-inch monitor from Alienware. It's an ultra-wide. There's so much space. They also have a great 17-inch notebooks. I mean, they got a bunch of stuff, but like if you're just in the market for space, go take a look at that. Also space-themed because the color palettes, it's lunar light and dark side of the moon for some of their hardware. So it's also space-themed because of the alien thing. But again, we're conflict. Anyway, they're my sponsor. Thanks for sponsoring. You can check out the link in the description below. And yeah, it's just good to be back in space.